And who could forget this cute little girl? Little Sophia, 4 years old. We told you about her yesterday. Lost use of her left arm, but yet she's got such a fighting spirit. She calls her left arm Lefty, says it's her favorite arm. She's so cute. But she's been battling this, has been paralyzed basically in her left arm for a couple of years. Today, Sophia and her parents, they were on CNN's New Day to talk about what could lie ahead.
The prognosis was poor when it first happened, but because they, when it first happened, we wanted answers, and we were wondering, like, why isn't this more important to what's going on? Like, why aren't we getting any answers of this is so rare? They don't know what happened. Aren't you scared about what happens? The doctors will tell you, yeah, if you don't gain recovery in 6 months, then you shouldn't expect any recovery. But it's not true. I mean, it may not be a lot of recovery, but she's continually, gaining. Her thumb is moving again, so there is hope.
Boy, that family, such a fighting spirit. And Mom even talked yesterday about being just thankful that little Sophia is still with them and she's still able to fight. Now, 2 of the children who contracted this mystery illness, they tested positive for enterovirus 68, which is a rare virus linked to severe respiratory illnesses. One other note, all kids did have the vaccination against polio. So again, let's get back to my first statement. Being a parent with a child who has a disease and the medical community struggling to name it, figure out what it is, and that's what you're dealing with as you become basically helpless in some ways. Your child is struggling. A mystery illness, that's what we're talking about here, and we have a mom and a dad who can relate to this. Now, we're not talking about the polio-like illness, something different. It's Priscilla Rosenlin and Thurston Rosenlin. They are here with us now. Gosh, our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. Your precious child, Truett. Tell me the story, Mom. Truett is, what, 7.5 weeks old? He's got a cold, you think, and he's having trouble breathing. Next thing you know, he's at the hospital. Then what happens?
So we took him to the hospital, and they told us that he has a cold. It'll just take a couple weeks to get well, and he'll be fine and at home again. And we go through those couple of weeks, and he's still not breathing well. We have a surgery to help his diaphragm so that he can breathe better. And then he catches a blood infection in the hospital. And then the next thing we know, he stops moving his legs, except from like knee to ankle. He'll kick them a little. And then it moves to his fingers and his arms. And so now he can just kick his legs from his knees down and move his shoulders kind of like this. And they can't tell us why or what's going to happen to him.
Gosh, Thurston, how hard is this as a dad on so many levels? Not only the health of little Truett, but just you've got to almost feel helpless as everybody's grappling to figure out what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most challenging thing is not having answers and not having a prognosis, so we have no idea what to expect in the future. And again, then holding down the home life with work and managing the hospital part of things, because it really is like a second job, just being able to spend any time down there. So it's extremely difficult.
And I think you mentioned this, Priscilla. Poor little Truett had a collapsed right lung, blood infection. You had talked specifically about some of the loss of use of arms and legs here, but not paralyzed. How is he alert, though? I mean, do you see that look of life in his eyes?
Oh, yeah. Everyone who comes into his room knows Truett is in there. He smiles, he flirts, he raises his shoulder. Oh. He cries when the respiratory team comes in, because sometimes they do things he doesn't really enjoy. And he's super smart. I mean, if you stick a toy in his hand, he will stare at his hand and try his hardest to move that toy. He wants to play, and he wants to be free of his broken body.
And I know the hope from both of you is that maybe somebody out there watching this right now knows maybe some similar symptoms, and maybe you guys can compare notes or something to get some kind of clarity and diagnosis. But in the midst of that, in the midst of the hope for little Truett, and I'll ask you both this, Priscilla, you first, how do you stay strong as your little guy is fighting in a hospital?
Right. That is so hard, because the doctors, they don't give a lot of hope. They're afraid to give you hope. And so we lean on our faith, our religion in God, and the little things that Truett does that are so positive. I mean, just last week, he started moving 2 fingers ever so slightly, and he rotates his arms a little bit where he never did before. And the doctors say, oh, well, we don't know what that means. We can't give you any hope, but we hang on to that dearly because it means a lot to us.
Yeah. What about you, Thurston? What keeps you strong?
I think just taking the little victories that you can get day by day, week by week, month by month, because it's such a long process to see if he's going to improve. And then really just, controlling the things that we can in our life and just taking it one day at a time is really how we've coped.
Well, a few things. Number one, know our thoughts and prayers are with you as we look at these beautiful pictures of your precious little guy. And we hope through this that maybe we will find some folks out there who have a child with similar symptoms, and maybe something good can come out of this in relation to Truett getting healthy in full again. Guys, thanks again. Keep us posted on how little Truett's doing. We appreciate it. Priscilla and Thurston, thanks again, guys.